Today we're talking about, when it comes to an INFJ, why age is nothing but a number. So the INFJ is known to be somebody who is an old soul. But when you hear people talking about INFJs being an old soul, it very often comes from INFJs being very young when they already understand so much about life. We actually are people who care about the important things in life, as in, how do you experience life? How do you go through life and don't regret the way you've made your choices? Like all of those things, right? Because INFJs are known not to care about the superficial things, like doing things just for popularity or doing things just because that's how you do things. And this gives us this rap of INFJs being old souls. But what it actually is that we age in reverse. And I had a video on this where we talk specifically how that whole process takes place. But another aspect that is just as important and just as interesting and should be something that we dive into is the fact that we experience age in a different way. We can experience age in a matter of, okay, I need to get somewhere by this age. We can experience age as an expiration date, as in, I need to do certain things by then. I don't have much time left, all of those things. Or we can look at age as something that is our present and nothing more. And if we as INFJs are able to get to that last aspect where we really live in the moment on our terms, as in INFJ terms, everything changes for the better. Trust me. So today we're going to talk about how to get there to become the INFJ that really experiences age as nothing but a number, and what steps you can take right now to make that happen really, really fast. Before we get started, a last reminder, this round of the INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp starts tomorrow. So you have time until tomorrow, August 27th. If you're watching this the day it comes out, you have time to join and be part of this round and all the rounds after that. It's lifetime access, but we have no late admission. So make sure, if you're interested, that you sign up now, and we're starting a really great journey. And everybody who's coming back, I'm really, really looking forward to seeing you again. All the information you find in the links in the description. It's one thing how other people see INFJs, and that's when it comes to INFJs being old souls, because of course we don't experience it this way. We recognize, okay, I look at life differently than others do, and particularly when I'm younger, it's even more obvious because I'm questioning, is there something wrong with me? I'm questioning why everybody seems to go through life and be happy about like small things here and there, and I actually am questioning existence altogether. But although this is an interesting aspect, this comes from the comparison aspect of, okay, there's something wrong with me because other people are different. But if you didn't have that, this whole thing of, things should be different and I should experience life differently wouldn't be an issue. Like, I remember so many people thinking there's, something wrong with me, or I'm weird, or all of those things that are now just not a topic anymore. They're just not an issue because I don't talk to people anymore in such a way that don't get me. Like the people that I share myself with, like you guys, you get it. And all the other people, I don't talk to about this stuff, and I don't do this deliberately. It just happened this way. So in this aspect, if you actually start accepting who you are and how you're experiencing life, and you're not comparing yourself to others, you're not even having this question in your mind of, okay, am I really an old soul? Do I experience life differently? Why does everybody else seem to get life and I don't? Like, those questions don't even arise. But what could still arise is the fact of, am I living in the present? Am I experiencing age as nothing but a number? Is it something that I have to think about and then remember how old I am? Because I get to live in the here and now. And once you do that, once you live in the here and now, it really becomes just something that you think about if, somebody asks you. You're not rushing towards something. You're not wondering if you wasted your life and if you've made mistakes or all of that, because you're right here at that moment. And that is an incredibly important step to get to. It's really living in the present. And I remember for the longest time when people told me, you have to live in the present. You have to, experience all of that. And particularly people that weren't INFJs. I always thought to myself, that's just not who I am. Like, I'm always living for the future. I always have plans. I always know what I want to do in a year. I love the planning aspect of it. And even today, I wouldn't tell you that is something that you have to give up at all. I recommend for all INFJs to have goals, to have a trajectory of where they want their life to go towards, because if you don't have that, you're not taking the steps, and that's when you get into the state of feeling lost and feeling like your life has no traction and no movement. But still, that's a different thing than really being in the present. You can have plans and then say, okay, every step that I'm taking today is guiding me towards my goals, but I'm still doing it in the here and now. So how do you do that? How do you get to a place where you do experience life fully right now, where you embrace it, where you feel the excitement and the joy and all of that combines? You do that by tapping into SE. And by knowing that once you start that journey of making that part of who you are, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not like you wake up one day and then, oh, I live in the present and everything is great. That's what you read in books. That's what you hear other people say when they say, live in the present. But it doesn't feel like this when you're not there. Like, that's what I'm saying. I remember being in these states, and when my friends used to tell me about this, and they said, Wenzes, you're not really here. You're always somewhere else. And back then, there was no way how I could imagine that I could be in a different state, that I could experience life from a perspective of I'm experiencing every single moment. I'm experiencing life right now. I'm not looking at it from this observer role. But just because you cannot imagine that there is another way to it doesn't mean that it's not possible for you experiencing that. Because I've done that transformation, and I've seen so many INFJs go through this transformation. People that I work with one-on-one, or people through boot camp, or INFJs that I talk to on a regular basis. This is something that can definitely change your life. And it's not something that has to be felt like, oh, this is right in front of me and I can grasp it, in order for you to know that this is possible for you. It is possible. It's just such a different state that it takes some time and it takes some steps to get there. So how are we going to get there? And most importantly, why? I mean, why do you need to live in the present? Isn't it okay to be an observer? Isn't it okay to be in your mind and all of that? It would be okay if it would satisfy you. Does it satisfy you? Probably not. It definitely didn't satisfy me. I didn't feel like this is something that I wanted. So what I realized is that in order to feel alive and feel life intensely and to experience life on a much bigger scale, I have to tap into SE. I have to take action. Because once you start taking action, you anchor yourself in. And only once you anchor yourself in, you can expand. And that's when you create motion. That's when you create excitement. That's when you feel like, oh, my life is moving into a direction that I want. Imagine yourself being somewhere up in the clouds. There's nothing to hold on to. You're just free and flowing. But with that, you also don't have any direction. You don't have anywhere you go to. You don't have anything that you can grow into. And therefore, you cannot build on something. You need to have some kind of anchor. You need to say, this is where I'm starting. And I'm transforming a current state into something new. I'm not just up here and looking at everything and hoping that something will just magically pop up and I will be happy. That's just not how it works. I've tried it a million times. Wasn't working for me. I have never met an INFJ who that has worked for, but the strategy that we're talking about today has helped so many. Actually, absolutely everybody that I've talked to about this, who's worked with me on this, who's done this by themselves, has always told me, yes, that was the way to go. So what is the point of taking action? And don't we take action every day? I mean, what's the difference? The point is to take action into creating the life that you want. That you create something for your future self, and not in a sense of, oh, I have to have done this by the age of X because otherwise I will look like I'm incompetent, but because you want to challenge yourself, because you like feeling like you're moving forward, because you like feeling like you're growing. It's the process, it's the journey. This is what excites us in life. And the way to do that is to accept our life the way it is right now. What I mean by this is Look at the different categories in your life, also the ones we use in bootcamp. For example, look at your relationships, look at your wealth management, look at your vocation as in your purpose, look at the way you live your life. Do you like the apartment you live in? Do you like your job? Do you like the relationships in your life? If not, what don't you like about them? And then imagine, what if it never got any better? Because most of the time, we as INFJs don't take any steps because we hope things are going to get better. We just think magically things are going to change. And so we don't take the steps necessary to actually change them. And that's how you get into this vicious circle. But if you look at your life and you say, I'm not keeping my heads up in the cloud. I'm looking at externally observable facts. Do I like the apartment that I live in? Do I like the job that I have? What if I was doing this for the rest of my life? What if I was living here for the rest of my life? How are my relationship with my friends, with my coworkers, romantic relationships, with my family? What if it never changed? If everything stayed the way it was now? And if you don't have a light at the end of the tunnel, if you don't have a path and a process and steps that you're currently taking to change that, guess what? They're going to stay the same. You're just not looking at it. You're not realizing it. You're not recognizing it, and therefore you're staying stuck. So when you look at those externally observable facts and you imagine, what if it never got any better? You give yourself the opportunity to accept what is. And this will evoke a lot of pain. It will evoke sadness. It will evoke feelings of, oh, I wish life was different. But you have to feel those feelings in order to heal them. And once you do that, you start accepting life. You start grounding yourself. You allow yourself as an INFJ to create a starting point and to say, okay, this is where my life actually is. It's not where I want it to be in my mind. It's not what I wish it to be. It's not the life that I hope will just change because there's going to be a miracle or something will pop up. None of that. This is where life is. And when you do that, you start taking control, because then you recognize you cannot wait or hope. It's on you to take action, to change that. What are you going to do to improve your living situation? What are you going to do to improve your relationships? How are you going to get excitement into your life? How are you going to make sure that you live out your purpose, that you tap into your purpose, that you start growing something that adds to your life, that gives you meaning, that makes you feel fulfilled, something that makes you feel connected on a deeper level? How are you going to make sure that you live in a better way, a couple of years down the road? Those are the questions that are going to make you live in the moment, believe it or not. Although you might think, oh, I'm planning, this is living in the future. No, it's a different thing, because now you're in the present. Now you're actually looking at what is happening in life. And then you start taking action towards a life that you want more. You're taking those steps. So you cannot tell yourself the lie anymore that you're just going to lay back and things are going to happen just like that. That's when you're not in the present. That's when you're always afraid of, I should have been able to do all of this by this age. I need to do all of those other steps by this age. Otherwise, I will have lost in life. None of that. You're experiencing life in that moment because you're present. You're here. You're focused, you're grounded. And even as an INFJ, you can do this. See, the way we're set up, we're of course all up in the clouds. We're all about the big ideas and creating something that is just out of the ordinary in our mind. We don't have to be grounded as an ESTP would. All we have to do is just to tap into our potential of SE. It's like we need to have a little anchor that holds our big ideas and that helps them grow. Other types, like for example, the ESTP, they have a very big, strong anchor. They need more things that will lift them up, that will allow them to look beyond what the next step is, but to have grand vision in their life. That is the thing that shows them where to go. We, on the other hand, have all of those visions. We have all of those ideas. We just need to have something that grounds us in order to experience life on a daily basis, to get excited, to have movement, and to actually create the INFJ epic life that we're looking for. If you want some more help with this, I invite you to join our bootcamp. It's an amazing place where so many INFJs work together to create the INFJ epic life that we're all looking for, of course, on our terms. So it's on my term, it's on your term, it's on everybody's personal term. That's the most important aspect here. All the information you find in links in the description. Remember, August 27th, the last day to sign up. Also check out the time so you can really take part in that first live call right away. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video, Why the INFJ Ages in Reverse.